Okay, this is for honors geometry, periods 3 and 4. Period 4, we did this in class, so this will just be a review for you. This is mainly for period 4. We were doing a problem where we had a triangle, and we were given the area of the triangle. We were told that the area was 64 square feet, and we wanted to find a side length. Well, what I tried to do is I tried to use the formula for a regular polygon, which is 1/2 times the apothem times the perimeter, which would work, except instead of using the apothem, I was using the height, and they're not the same thing. See, I was doing this, and then I was saying that this was 60, this was 30, and this was 90, and then I was coming up with 2x, x, and the square root of 3 times x, and that's incorrect. What I should have been doing is, if I'm going to use area equals 1/2 apothem times perimeter, then I need to have the actual apothem, which is not the height, but from the center of the triangle, it is the segment that is perpendicular to the side. And then if I put in the two radii, I create an an isosceles triangle, and this central angle is 360 divided by the number of sides that the polygon has, which is 3, which is 120, and the apothem is going to bisect that angle. So this angle here is 60, and this angle here is 30. So if the hypotenuse is this side here, which is 2x, then the short leg, which is here, now this becomes x, and this becomes the square root of 3 times x. But this is also the square root of 3 times x, so that means the side length is 2 times the square root of 3 times x. Okay? So what I need to do now is I need to say that my area is 64, and that's going to be equal to 1/2 of my apothem, which is x times my perimeter, which is going to be the number of sides, which is 3, times the length of each side, which is 2 times the square root of 3x. Okay? So 64 is going to be equal to 1/2 x times 3 times 2 is 6 times the square root of 3x. So when I multiply the 1/2 and the 6, I get 3 times the square root of 3 times x squared, and I need to solve this for x. So to solve this for x, I'm going to divide both sides by 3 times the square root of 3. Okay, so 3 times the square root of 3 cancels here and here, and I'm going to be left with x squared is equal to 64 divided by 3 times the square root of 3. Now, when we were doing our division, we were running into a problem because we were relying too much on our calculator. When you say 64 divided by 3 times the square root of 3, the calculator doesn't know that this 3 times the square root of 3 is what you want to divide by. It thinks you're saying, oh, you want to take 64 divided by 3 and then multiply that quotient by the square root of 3. That's what it thinks you want. That is not correct. You want to divide by 3 times the square root of 3. So what you have to do is you have to put the entire product of what you're dividing by in parentheses. In parentheses. Because if you put it in parentheses, that's not going to happen. Okay? So, divide 64 by 3 times the square root of 3. Make sure that you're in parentheses. Okay? And that's going to be x squared. Now, you have to find out what x is, so you have to take 64 divided by 3 times the square root of 3. And don't forget, you have to be in parentheses in your denominator. And then you take the square root of both sides. So x is going to be the square root of 64 divided by 3 times the square root of 3 in parentheses. Then, once you get your value of x, what you need to do is you need to take that value of x and you need to plug it back into the side length of your triangle, which is right here. So you need to take 2 times the square root of 3, and then you need to multiply that by the square root of 64 divided by 3 times the square root of 3. And again, don't forget your parentheses, and that's going to be your value, your side length. And if you multiply that out, I believe your side length will be approximately 12.2 feet. And I think that's the answer that was given on the in the answer key. Okay? So try that, and it should work out for you. Okay? If you have any questions, come see me. Come see me.